In Nigeria, every year, over 60,000 people die of drug-resistant infections. Antimicrobial resistance is one of the top global public health threats. MedLab will be having a month awareness program for antimicrobial resistance. Also, we'll be having a talk show to wrap up the whole awareness month. Hi guys, welcome to MedLab Hive. If this is the first time you're coming across this channel, please do well to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment so that we can welcome you to the community. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know you are the VIP. Thank you for always showing up. Just before we get into the business for today, MedLab Hive will be having a month awareness program for antimicrobial resistance, and all our content will be out there. We hope that you engage, ask your questions, send out our links, and share our videos with everyone. Everybody needs to get this knowledge because it is very important. And also, we'll be having a talk show to wrap up the whole awareness month, and the dates will be communicated as we progress. So let's get into the business of today. So we'll be breaking down a major world health threat that is silently affecting Nigeria and the world at large, and that is antimicrobial resistance, that is AMR. For the sake of this video, I'll be using more of AMR, so it still means the same thing. Antimicrobial resistance happens when germs like viruses, fungi, bacteria, parasites have evolved and they no longer respond to treatment as they would on a normal day. So this makes simple infections very hard to treat and putting certain medical procedures at higher risk. According to World Health Organization, antimicrobial resistance is one of the top global public health threats. World Health Organization has estimated that in Nigeria, every year, over 60,000 people die of drug-resistant infections, and children are much more susceptible. They are much more vulnerable to this very condition. I think there is a misconception with people who use drugs, especially use drugs legally. There are antibiotics, there are antiviral drugs, there are antifungal drugs, and there are antiparasitic drugs. These drugs don't treat or combat the same condition. So in a situation where you have malaria and then you go ahead to use antibiotics instead of using antiparasitic drugs, you have successfully exposed yourself to possibilities of antimicrobial resistance. Antibiotics are specifically designed to treat bacterial infections like urinary tract infections, some bacterial pneumonia, diarrhea infections, some of them, and also typhoid fever, while antiviral drugs are used to treat viral infections like HIV, COVID, and the rest of them. Antiparasitic drugs help to combat parasitic infections like worms and protozoa in cases of malaria parasites and schistosomiasis, while antifungal drugs help to combat fungal infections, just as the name states, fungal infections like ringworm, athlete's foot, and vaginal yeast infection. It's very important to note that malaria is not an antibacterial related infection. It's a parasitic infection, so you're supposed to use an anti-parasitic drug to treat malaria. Don't get antibiotics for malaria, and not every flu or fever demands that you go and get anti-malarial drugs. That is why it's always advised to run tests, that is, go to the hospital, seek medical advice or help before administering treatment. And those people that are used to getting over-the-counter drugs, you just go to a chemist and you get drugs, you say it's first aid, or because you are a medical personnel and you feel it's all right to diagnose yourself, to self-diagnose without properly running tests. That is totally out of place. With time, you get to expose yourself to antimicrobial resistance. So if we are going to fight this, it has to start with our little steps of running proper checkups and carrying out the right test or investigation before we get drugs to treat diseases or infection, or whenever you feel ill or unwell. So I'm just going to put this out there because it's very common and very rampant amongst us. Even before I got to know some of these things, I think I was a victim. So malaria is not a bacterial infection, yeah? So you don't have to use antibiotics to treat malaria. And not every fever or flu demands that, I need to get an antibiotic. No, that is why there is provision for you to go to the hospital. The hospital is very wide open. You have access to doctors. Go for proper checkup, run the proper and the right investigation so that you will be taken care of professionally and not by guesswork. I've seen people who fall ill and the next thing they are just going to get anti-malaria drugs. It's It's a very common thing amongst us. It's a very common thing amongst us, and it's slowly and silently killing us. So in our next video, I will be explaining further. We'll be looking at our everyday habits that expose us to antimicrobial resistance. Like, these are common things that we do every day, but somehow, somewhere, we are a step closer to being resistant to antimicrobial drugs. If you have questions, you have a contribution or anything, please leave it in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, share our videos with as many people as you would want them to gain this knowledge. This is a widespreading pandemic. It's slowly becoming a big thing. And the funny thing is, this thing is something we overlook. It's as simple as dangerous as it is. Yes, as much as it is simple, it is also dangerous. Many people are not aware of this. So if you come across this video, please do well to share it with as many people as you can, so that you can save somebody. You have to, if you're listening to me and you're not going to share this video, you'll be held responsible for whatever happens to your neighbor due to their ignorance, because now you are enlightened. So enlighten the other person. That is how we make the world a better place. So see you in our next video. Until then, stay curious and keep learning. Bye.